And we're back, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. In today's video, I'm going to decide which one is the better, Duke Nukem 3D or Quake. Don't get me wrong, I both enjoyed these games when they came out. I grew up on these games. And I enjoy them both, still to this day. But I've changed my mind over the years which one is the best. And there's a number of reasons for that. Let's delve into this. First of all, I enjoy Duke Nukem for the style, the humor, the one-liners, the atmosphere. It's something that is you know, there's nothing like that, even to this day. So it sets itself apart because of that. Quake, on the other hand, I like the gothic theme, I like the atmosphere, the grunginess of it, but it's a different kind of game. And personally, I love the way that I could sort of immerse myself into that dark, gritty world of Quake. But overall, the enjoyment is there. They're both great fun. If you look at the engines that these games run on, like at the time, Duke Nukem 3D was, I think, the more popular one, in the way that it was built with the build engine, and this engine was widely used by other developers who used it for, I mean, there are various games that came out around that time that were based on the build engine, like, for instance, Blood, and there was Shadow Warrior. These were highly popular games. For Quake, the Quake engine, there weren't a whole lot of other games running on it. Maybe it had something to do with licenses that were given by id Software. I don't know. Or maybe, and that's, I think, a big difference between both of these games and both of these engines, that the technology behind it was very advanced with Quake. You know, Quake had the better engine, technology-wise, because Quake actually rendered 3D environments and enemies, whereas in Duke Nukem, it wasn't really 3D. You know, Duke Nukem 3D, it wasn't really 3D. Mostly it was 2D sprites, and it looked kind of ugly even for the time. But it had so much style that people sort of fell in love with it. Now, the engine of Duke Nukem 3D was actually quite user-friendly. I remember creating levels myself, and it was really easy to use the build engine. You could sort of decorate your levels in the 3D environment, basically. And I actually uploaded some of these levels, but they are sort of lost in the digital sea. I don't know where they are. Maybe there's still people out there that are playing my levels. Who knows? But I actually got into level creating because of Duke Nukem 3D's build engine. But on the other hand, the engine used for Quake was also used for Half-Life, although it was a modified engine. So to this day, there is DNA, Quake DNA, in other first-person shooters like Half-Life and Half-Life 2, which sort of blows me away. Actually, I wasn't really into creating Quake levels myself, but I do remember at the time that I went to college, and I have my own computer, but it wasn't connected to the internet. So I went to the computer room of the college, and I I looked for these levels that I could copy on a small disk, and I would take that home with me and then play the level on my computer in my little room. And that was amazing too. So again, nostalgia-wise, I still have fun memories of both these games. But nowadays, I think Quake the preferred option to play. Throughout the years, there's been quite a bit of custom updates for the engine. People are have been making HD packs for Quake. It's very easy nowadays to get started with playing custom levels for Quake. If you use the Steam version or the GOG version, there is a huge source of levels to download, and I don't think you have that for Duke Nukem 3D anymore. It's more difficult to set that up and look for those levels. So nowadays I prefer Quake, because of the way you can customize the game, the engine updates, the availability of levels and custom expansions. There's so many talented people out there that through the years have created all kinds of single-player maps and multiplayer maps, and with a simple injector that you can download, maps and levels and custom campaigns and episodes and whatnot for Quake. It's so easy nowadays. So what I'll do is I'll post links to an article that I think it was on Kotaku. It's called Mods That Are Keeping Quake Alive in 2017, and you should really check that out. You can find ways to download the injector, so you can download the maps, episodes that are made by a lot of talented people throughout the years. So that's why I think in the long run Quake is the better option. It's for nostalgia's sake. Playing Duke Nukem 3D is fun, but Quake it stood the test of time because of the style of the Gothic setting. It can still look good to play Quake nowadays in 2019. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.